Welcome to Nuke's Fitness Podcast. My name is Manouk Vink, and after having struggled with my body image and my fitness journey for more than 10 years, leading me to all sorts of extremes, I have now finally cracked the code on how you can achieve a fit and toned physique without extremes and restrictions. Now, being a certified nutritionist and personal trainer, I have made it my mission to help women achieve their body goals by feeling empowered through fitness instead of being afraid of foods and being controlled by the fitness industry. In this podcast, I will be sharing with you tried and true methods on how you can finally achieve your dream body and tell you the secrets most coaches won't. So if you are tired of working your ass off without getting results, or you feel like you're putting in all the work but not seeing change in the mirror, this podcast is for you. I will be dropping some fitness truth bombs so you can start taking control of your body goals while still enjoying life. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy the show. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Nuke's Fitness Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here for another week of interesting and important topics to getting you closer to your dream body, getting you closer to finally achieving your body goals, getting that toned physique that you've always been after, and losing that stubborn fat. And today we're going to touch upon a topic that we've touched upon before. I've actually had an amazing guest on the podcast about this topic. So if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, I highly suggest you go and listen to that podcast. It's the podcast with Sarah Simpson. So go check it out. But I felt like it needed a little bit more of an explanation. It needed a little bit more of a podcast, more time on this subject. And that's because it's been coming up a lot for me. And I've been noticing it a lot as well. And the topic that I'm going to be talking about is body image and why it's so important to achieve your fitness goals from the inside out. And why that makes all the difference when it comes to achieving your body goals and achieving your fitness goals. So basically, we all are always judging, like the majority of us judge ourselves on the way that we look. We are very harsh on ourselves, and that's one of the reasons we start our fitness journey. It's because we want to look better. We want to look a certain way. So we have an image of who this person is that we want to become, or we have an idol that we look up to, and that's the shape that we want to become. And we think that when we've achieved that body goal, we will finally feel better about ourselves. Right? We will finally stop being so critical of ourselves. We'll finally feel confident. We'll finally not be nervous about wearing our bikini, our shorts, or you name it. And yes, in theory, that is true. In some aspects, yes, you will feel better about yourself if you achieve the body goals that you've always set out to achieve. But you have to do it for the right reasons, and it has to come from a good place. So what I'm trying to say is that even if you don't work on the internal, so if you don't work on loving yourself and loving your body, even when you haven't achieved your specific body goals or on your journey, if you don't do it while you're on your fitness journey, so you don't work on loving your body for what it is and having a good body image, then there's a very high chance that first of all, it's going to be harder for you to achieve your goals. And second of all, it's going to be harder to hold on to those body goals. So I'm going to use my story as an example. If you've been following me for a while, or if you've listened to my first podcast where I explain my entire story, you know that I used to compete in bodybuilding competitions, well, in two. And I was very ripped at my first competition. So I was an extremely low body fat percentage. I was very ripped. I was a shape I thought I would never be able to achieve. And in this phase, of course, there was like this crazy feeling of, I was like on a high. So I got very addicted to having that shape. So I was very obsessed with all the results that I was getting. I was very addicted to achieving the body goals that I had. One of the reasons I was able to achieve those body goals is because I was certain I could do what I wanted to do. So there was no doubt that I felt like I could achieve a specific body goal. For some reason, something within me drove the fact that I was able to achieve this look if I set my mind to it. So that's key number one. In a lot of when it comes to a lot of my clients and a lot of my members and people that I speak to, we often struggle achieving our body goals because we start off already doubting the fact that we can achieve those goals. So there you go. Already some of that confidence, that body image, that self-image gets in the way of you achieving your body goals. Because what happens is because if you already tell yourself that you can't do it before you've done it, then how do you think that is going to go? So if you imagine if you were speaking to your daughter or to a child or your cousin or your niece, like a little girl, or even take yourself as a little girl if you don't have kids. Imagine yourself as a little girl. Would you tell that little girl when she was drawing some beautiful picture for you, would you go to her and say, you're not good at drawing, you can't do this, you'll never be able to do this? How do you think that little girl is going to feel? Do you feel like she's going to be empowered, like she wants to keep drawing until she can do it? Or do you feel like she's going to be deflated and defeated and she's like, I'm never going to be able to be a good drawer, right? The same goes for our fitness journey. So when we, from the get-go, already convince ourselves we're not able to do something, then chances are you're not going to be able to do something. So when you go on your fitness journey and you're already knocking yourself down before you've tried it, and I see this happen so much, or before you put the work in, you're first of all not going to be motivated to do the work. And second of all, you're not going to believe in the fact that you can do it. So that's going to stop you before you even try. And when you do try, you'll always have this little voice in your head going, you can't do it. So we need to change that mindset, and you need to start realizing and telling yourself that you are capable of doing it, and finding little moments in the day where you're already making healthier and smarter decisions. Write it down and show yourself that you're already taking those steps. Prove to yourself that you're already making healthier changes in your life, and prove to yourself that you can do it, because you 100% can. So that is one part of the equation. One part of the equation is that, when we lack self-confidence or have a low body image, what happens is we stop ourselves from achieving the goals that we want to achieve before we even try. And that is like one of the biggest ways you're gonna make sure you fail on your journey. So so what I'm trying to say here is that if and I've said this before, if I were to program you like a robot and told you exactly what you needed to do, and you were a robot and you just executed exactly what I told you to do, you would be able to achieve those body goals. So take me for my bodybuilding competition. I did that. So someone gave me a program, someone gave me the diet, and I, like a robot, did exactly what I was told. And I achieved a body goal that I never thought was possible. But the only reason I never thought it was possible in the past was because I didn't believe in myself. And at that moment in time, because I had the right information and because I thought I had the right tools, I was able to achieve goals that I thought were not possible or impossible for your body. Nothing is impossible if you set your mind to it. Like literally almost nothing is impossible. My grandpa used to always say, nothing is impossible except for falling up. So, that always stuck with me, because I realized you can do anything that you set your mind to. So the only reason you're not able to achieve specific results is most of the time because you are getting in the way of yourself, is most of the time because you are telling yourself you're not able to do it. So the only reason you're not achieving those results is because you're your own worst enemy. So we need to start reprogramming that mindset where you tell yourself that you're incapable of doing something, and instead swap it or replace it with proof of moments where you have achieved it. Even if you decide to take the stairs instead of the elevator, even if you decide to choose a healthier option at lunch, even if you decide to go for a walk for an hour, like write those things down and prove to yourself that you are able to achieve certain results. And if in the past you've lost weight, then, or you've gotten more toned, or you've gotten stronger, then take that as proof of you being capable of doing it, instead of already stopping yourself before you're doing it. So give yourself credit for the smallest moments where you achieve the results that you want to achieve, or where you resemble the person that you want to become, right? When I start with my members and when I start with my clients, and even inside my challenge that I do every so often, my 5-day challenge, I always start off with a visualization where my clients and my members visualize the best version of themselves. And I do this because I want you to see, when you start visualizing the best version of yourself, so you have this person in front of you who is the best version of you, you will envision someone that is you. And the only reason you can envision that person is because that person exists within you, is because you already are that person. Because most likely you didn't suddenly change into a different human being when you imagined that best version of yourself. It was probably you in a better version. So the fact that you can visualize that, the fact that you can think or conjure up an idea of that version, means that that version exists. So you're able to achieve those results 100%. And we need to start believing in that, because if you don't tackle that part first, then you're only going to create more obstacles on your journey to achieving your body goals. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason, you need to work on your body image. And whether, I mean, it's the best if you can do it in combination with one another. So it's the best if you can start making changes in your life, fitness-wise, and at the same time work on your body image. Is because if you don't work on how you view yourself, and if you don't work on loving yourself and loving your body as is and what it can do for you, then a lot of the time your body is going to not work with you and is gonna stop you in your tracks. So this happened to me as well, and the body is actually working for us. And I truly believe, like, energetically, the body's always trying to protect us. So when I did my second competition, I was a lot like, I was so unhappy with my body, because this is what I mean, where you have to work on your body image before you go on a fitness journey, or whilst you're on your fitness journey. Because when I came out of my first competition, I was terrified of losing the shape that I had at the time. I was so scared of not being as lean as I was at that day that I did everything that I could to maintain the body shape that I had, competition-wise. Also knowing that, you know, as a woman, it's very unhealthy to be at such a low fat percentage, and it is not natural to stay at that shape. Like, if you look at pictures from my bikini fitness competition, I was extremely lean, 9% body fat. You could see all my muscles, everything. But as a woman, it is not natural to be in that state, and everything stopped functioning. Like all my hormones, everything, it just didn't function anymore. So basically what happened is I was so scared of losing that shape. And naturally, I mean, I did do like a reverse diet. So a reverse diet is something that I also coach people on in my membership. That is where you slowly start introducing more calories, instead of going from extremely low calories to back to what you used to be eating. You slowly start reintroducing calories, and you slowly start up your metabolism again, because that's how that works. So I was even reverse dieting, but after a while, my body started putting on weight, because it's completely natural for your body to do that. But my self-image was so low that even when I was still extremely ripped and extremely lean at that point, I saw myself as heavy and large because my body image was so messed up that I saw myself as this large person, this heavy person, even though I was still extremely lean. I wasn't as lean as the competition, but I was extremely lean. So what happens is even though you've achieved this dream body, you start viewing yourself differently and it's never good enough. And when it's never good enough, you're going to keep battling this uphill battle. So you're not going to get the results that you want long term. And half of the result, if not all of the result of achieving your body goals is feeling more confident. It's about what you feel. Like, think of when you think of the body you want to achieve, think of the feeling it will give you. That is what you're actually after. You're after the feeling that it gives you when you're fitter, when you're leaner. You're not actually after what it looks like. You're after the feeling it gives you. So think of the feeling that it gives you, and that is your goal, right? So when you start losing that feeling, you haven't held on to that goal. So I started panicking. I started not thinking that I was lean enough. I started punishing myself. I started criticizing myself extremely, and I was unkind to my body. And I decided way too soon that I should compete again because I wanted to get rid of the extra fat on my body. So, and I wanted to get leaner because I was unhappy with it. I was very self-conscious of my body. I was just not feeling confident in my own skin anymore. So to me, the only solution at the time was, okay, I just got to get leaner. So what I did is, again, pulled all the tricks out of my bag, was doing 2 hours of cardio a day, 1 hour of training a day, eating in an extreme calorie deficit, and my body was barely responding. It was like an uphill battle. I was fighting to drop the weight, to drop the kilos, to get leaner. And that's because my body didn't want to work with me. It wanted to protect me from what I was doing to it. And it was such an uphill battle. And I wasn't getting the results that I wanted because it didn't come from a good place. It didn't come from a place of empowerment, of I want to do better for myself. I want to do better to be healthier. I want to do better, look better so that I'm stronger, that I'm fitter. It came from a place of I'm not good enough, and only when I look like this, then I will be good enough. And there's a big problem when you work from that space, because when you work from that space, you're not doing it for the right reasons. And when you're not doing it for the right reasons, it's going to be this battle that you're going to continuously fight. It's going to be this battle that even when you're in the best shape of your life, it won't be good enough. Does that make sense? So it was only after I've completed that competition, I didn't win anything. I was not lean enough at all for that competition. I mean, in general, yes, I was lean, but I wasn't lean enough for the competition. I wasn't in my top shape for the competition. And that's when it clicked, and I realized my body didn't want to work with me on this because I was punishing it so much and working so extremely hard and not seeing the results. I mean, have you ever heard of someone training 3 hours a day in an extreme calorie deficit and then not getting the results that they want? The reason that happens is because you're punishing your body. Your body's holding on to stress. It's not going to work with you. It's also protecting you from the harm you're doing to it. So after that competition, I realized I had this little moment where I was like, is this really worth it? Is it really worth me putting my body through the ringer like this just to stand on stage and get the validation that I think that I want, that I need, and then do the cycle all over again? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to still put on the weight after that competition because it's not natural for me to be that lean. So you need to find peace with what your body is right now. And chances are when you find peace with that, or when you love your body for what it is right now, then your body's going to work so much better with you because it doesn't need to protect you from you. Does that make sense? So like, yeah. So that doesn't mean don't go after your fitness dreams. That's what my whole life is about. That's what my whole business is about, is achieving your fitness goals. But it will be so much easier for you to achieve your fitness goals when you work from the inside out, when you work on healing the perception you have of your body and healing the perception that you have of you. And by showing yourself how valuable you already are, by showing yourself how valuable your body already is. Like, how grateful are you for your legs, even though they may not look the way you want them to look? How grateful are you for them for doing the work, for walking you around every day, for being fully functional, for being strong? How grateful are you for your stomach, even though it might not be as flat as you want it to be, for being able to digest food, for being able to potentially, I mean, that would be the womb, but potentially carry a baby one day if you're a woman. How grateful are you for the rest of your body for functioning as it's supposed to function? Like, try to find gratitude and love for your body for what it's capable of doing. When you start healing your body image and when you start working from the inside out, not only does that already start giving you the feeling that you're after by achieving your fitness goals, but it will also make it so much easier to achieve your fitness goals. Because I've been there where I was doing everything, literally everything. Literally cardio for an hour once a day, weight training for an hour once a day. So 2 hours of training, low calorie diet, watching my food, and just 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. And my body got heavier and heavier. It didn't lean out. And that's because I was punishing my body. I was unhappy with my body. I didn't love my body. My body image was completely messed up. It was so messed up. And now that I've really come out on the other end, and I really appreciate and love and feel the most confident I have ever felt in my body ever, and I do way less. I make sure I get my steps in. I go for a run maybe once or twice a week because I enjoy it and because it challenges me, and I train 2 to 3 times a week, weight training now. And I eat all the foods that I love. I mean, I understand nutrition and everything that I need to do to maintain a specific body type, but I'm not as strict as I used to be. I'm not as harsh on my body as I used to be. And just by doing that, it has slimmed down, it has become leaner, and it is responding so much better to all the training and the nutrition that I am implementing in my life. So it's this combination that you need to work on. Because if you are working on achieving a specific body goal to make your ex jealous, or to make your friends jealous, or to impress people on Instagram, or so that you can get a compliment from the neighbor down the road, or so that you can take nice pictures. If you're doing it to get outside validation, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So that's the best way to check it for yourself if you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're doing it for yourself. Make sure you're doing it because you want to become a better version of yourself. And it's totally okay to want to look better. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look fitter, wanting to achieve a specific body goal, challenging your body. I mean, that's super exciting. One of the reasons I started running now is because I wanted to challenge my body in a different way. One of the reasons I did my bodybuilding competition was because I wanted to see how far I could take it, how far my body would go, what I could achieve with my body. But it has to come from this place of excitement and of betterment of yourself, of challenging yourself, of making yourself healthier, for making yourself stronger. Because yes, you're going to look better when you start weight training and when you start taking care of your nutrition. but also you are going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be stronger. You're going to feel better all around. And that is what you should be doing it for at the end of the day. And the extra benefit of that is that you look better, is that you achieve that body goal. Because once you start taking care of your body and your body image and how you feel about yourself, everything else will fall into place. Because if you feel good about yourself and you're exuding that energy outward and you're feeling confident about yourself, everybody's going to pick up on that energy and is going to want to be around you more, want to give you more things, want to help you more. You're like, if you are struggling to find a partner, if you are more confident, if you're exuding more positivity and confidence and empowerment, then it will be easier to attract someone that sees that within you. And we think that by fixing the outside, we heal the inside, but it's the other way around. When you heal the inside and when you work on the inside, wow, I can't speak. When you work on the inside, the outside will respond. That's how that works. I mean, how often do you have people getting plastic surgery or something like that because they think if they fix the outside, they will feel better on the inside? How often does that happen? And then they find something new that they want to change about themselves because they're not happy with the inside. They haven't worked on the inside. So my advice to you is, if you are starting your fitness journey, if you are on your fitness journey, and if you're struggling to get the results that you want to get, I highly recommend working on the inside, working on your body image. And that is something that we tackle inside my membership. That is something that I find so important. Like, it's an ingredient that a lot of coaches seem to miss, because we just think if we just go through the motions and we achieve those body goals, we'll be good. But the problem is, even if then you achieve your body goals, what happens next is you're gonna not feel like it's good enough. You're always gonna be on this race to achieving a better body, a better physique, even though you look amazing, but you'll never fully appreciate it because you haven't healed your self-image. So that there's always something that you can do that could be better. And it's going to be this endless cycle and battle. And it's so much like, how nice would it be if you could just feel so confident and so happy in your body, and make that part of the reason why it's easy for you to achieve your body goals. Because once you love yourself from the inside out, it is so much easier to achieve the body goals that you want to achieve, because the biggest obstacle is removed. Your limiting beliefs, your limiting views of yourself, that is the biggest obstacle in achieving your body goals. Nothing else. Just think about it. Why is it hard for you to achieve your body goals most of the time? It's either because you're not using the right technique and the right training style and nutrition, and you're doing everything, but you're also probably punishing yourself because you're not achieving the results that you want, which is causing you to give up, which is causing you to feel deflated. Or you're giving up because you are telling yourself you're not able to achieve those results. Both of these things can partially be healed by you fixing your body image first, or tackling that while you're on your fitness journey. You need to see already how you are already perfect, how you are already doing everything that you should be doing. And you should only want to transform your body and achieve your fitness goals for yourself and nobody else. Once you do it for yourself and nobody else, and you do it for the right reasons, it will be so much easier for you to achieve your body goals. And believe me, you'll feel so much better doing it. And not only that, it will be easier to hold on to those fitness goals, because you won't be looking for something else to make it better. You won't be punishing your body anymore because you love it. And that is my advice for you today. I hope this was a valuable podcast for you. And if you haven't listened already and you want some more information on this, I interviewed a body image coach, Sarah Simpson, in one of my previous podcasts. I don't exactly remember. I think it's episode 8, if I'm correct. Go check it out. And we go into her story there and how body image is such a big ingredient and factor in you achieving your fitness goals, in you achieving your health goals. Because once you love your body, it's so much easier to take care of it instead of it staying stuck in this cycle. Anyways, beautiful people, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Leave a little review if you enjoyed this podcast and share it with someone who you think might find it valuable. Thank you for listening, and I'm excited to see you next week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and you feel like you got a lot of value out of it, it would mean the world to me if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with someone who you feel like would get a lot of value out of it. In the meantime, come hang out with me on my Instagram @ManookFink, or join my free challenge, which will be linked in the show notes. It's academy.nooksfitness.com/join-challenge. If you can't remember that name, check the links in the show notes, and I hope to see you there.